Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. The electric car market has changed more in the last 5 years than it did in the previous 20. Prices have gone up, competition has exploded, and expectations have shifted. But there's one car that quietly started the EV revolution long before it was cool, the Nissan Leaf. And now, with the brand, new generation finally here, people are asking just one big question. Is the new Nissan Leaf truly back on top? Or is it just another EV trying to survive in a crowded market? Today, we're going to find out together, because this car might surprise you in more ways than one. Let's begin with something most people never talk about anymore, the story. The first Nissan Leaf arrived in 2011, and at that time, it was basically an alien spaceship on UK roads. Plastic-looking interior, tiny battery, limited range. But it offered something no one else did: affordable, no-nonsense electric motoring. Fast forward to today, and Nissan knows the competition has changed dramatically. Tesla is everywhere. MG is dominating on price. Hyundai and Kia are leading the tech race. German brands have filled the premium market. So, this new Leaf had one mission: to evolve into a modern EV while still staying true to the simple, dependable, fuss-free formula that made people love it in the first place. The first thing people noticed about the new model is the design. Forget the bubbly, soft, eco-car look. This one finally looks like something you'd actually want to drive every single day. Sharper lines, a cleaner grille, free front, slimmer LED headlights, and a much sportier side profile give it a more grown-up identity. It no longer screams, "I'm an electric experiment." Now it simply looks like a proper, modern hatchback that happens to be electric. The aerodynamic tweaks are clear as wealth: lush elements, reworked bumpers, and hidden airflow management under the body. It's all designed to squeeze out every extra mile from the battery. Even the new wheel options look much better, especially the aero-optimized ones that don't look like cheap plastic covers anymore. Step inside, and you immediately feel how much Nissan has changed. The interior finally has the premium touch it was always missing. Better materials, a solid build feel, and a cleaner layout put it way ahead of the older car. The infotainment system is completely refreshed. Larger screen, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, smoother animations, and a proper digital driver's display that actually looks modern. Nissan learned from drivers' complaints. The old screen felt like something from a budget car. This one feels right at home in 2025. There are more physical buttons than you might expect, and that's actually a good thing. Climate controls, drive mode toggles, and main functions are still separate from the touchscreen. It makes the car easier to live with, especially while driving, and comfort is surprisingly good. Softer seats, better lumbar support, and improved acoustic insulation mean this Leaf feels quieter than most EV in its price range. Even on rougher UK roads, the cabin remains calm. Space is one of the Leaf's strongest points. Rear passengers get generous legroom for a hatchback, and the flat floor makes a big difference. The boot is one of the largest in its class, bigger than the MG4, ID3, and even some small crossovers. Nissan has done a great job of balancing size with practicality. It's the type of car that genuinely works for families, commuters, first-time EV buyers, and even ride-share drivers. But design and comfort are only part of the story. The real question is whether the new Leaf performs better than before, and the short answer is absolutely. Nissan has finally upgraded the battery tech. The new Leaf comes with multiple battery options, but the most popular one will be the mid-range version, offering around 250 to 270 miles of real-world range depending on driving style and weather. There's a long-range variant too, pushing closer to 330 real-world miles, which is a serious upgrade over the old car's limits. Efficiency is one of the highlights. Nissan has clearly optimized the drivetrain to sip energy rather than gulp it. In real conditions, city driving, mild roads, and mixed motorways, the new Leaf outperforms equivalent cars from VW and even competes closely with Hyundai's Ioniq series. Nissan's tuning is predictable, smooth, and refined. It has that usable efficiency that matters in daily driving, not just the lab-tested WLTP numbers. Charging speed was a major weakness of the older Leaf, especially with its CHAdeMO port. Thankfully, that chapter is closed. The new Leaf finally uses CCS, and DC fast charging speeds now reach around 130 kW in most trims, and up to 160 kW in the long-range model. It's not Tesla or Hyundai fast, but it's more than enough for UK buyers who mostly charge overnight. 20% to 80% takes roughly 25 to 30 minutes, which is perfectly acceptable for the segment. On AC charging, you get 11 kW, great for home or workplace charging solutions. Let's talk driving. The new Leaf isn't trying to be sporty or extreme, and it doesn't need to be. What it does extremely well is feel predictable, comfortable, and incredibly easy to live with. Steering feels lighter in the city, weights up nicely at higher speeds, and gives decent feedback. The suspension tuning is noticeably better than the old model, offering more stability on motorways and less body roll around corners. It's surprisingly refined for its price bracket. Not soft like a luxury EV, but not stiff like some budget EV either. It sits comfortably in the sweet spot. Acceleration is smooth rather than punchy. The long-range version with more power feels brisk, but nothing dramatic, and that's completely fine. The Leaf isn't trying to race. It's built to be an everyday workhorse. One feature that stands out is the updated e-pedal system. Nissan has refined the one-pedal driving experience with better modulation and smoother transitions. It's now one of the most natural feeling systems in the market. New drivers will adapt instantly. Old Leaf owners will feel right at home, and regenerative braking strength is adjustable, which is a welcome upgrade. Safety has always been a Nissan priority, and this car is loaded with features. Pro Pilot Assist has been improved. Lane keep, adaptive cruise, blinds, spot monitoring, automatic braking, 360-degree cameras, all working more smoothly than before. It feels less intrusive, more consistent, and far closer to the systems offered by Hyundai and Toyota. The cameras also have higher resolution and better lighting support, which is a big help in UK winters. But now comes the big question: is the new Nissan Leaf back on top? To answer that, we need to compare it to direct rivals. The MG4 is cheaper, but doesn't offer the same refinement or interior quality. The ID.3 now costs more and still feels less solid in some areas. The Renault Megane E-Tech is stylish but more expensive. And Tesla Model 3 and Y, they're in a different segment now. Bigger, pricier, and not really competing at the same budget level. The Leaf feels like the perfect middle ground: affordable, practical, efficient, and reliable. The exact formula that made it a best seller in the first place. The biggest advantage Nissan has right now is trust. People know the Leaf, people recognize the badge, and that matters when buying an EV. Many buyers still worry about long-term battery health, motor reliability, charging issues, and maintenance costs. Nissan has more than a decade of real-world EV experience. The brand has seen older Leafs cross 100,000 miles, 200,000 miles, and even 300,000 miles. That reputation helps the new model tremendously. Nissan has improved the thermal management system too, which was another weakness of the older generations. The battery is now actively cooled, which means better durability and more stable performance during long summer drives or repeated fast charging. Running costs remain one of the Leaf's biggest strengths. Insurance is reasonable, servicing is cheap, and electricity cost savings remain significant for daily commuting. If you drive 30 to 50 miles a day, the Leaf can literally cut your energy costs by 70% compared to a petrol car. And with overnight home charging, it becomes even cheaper. Even tire wear is well managed because the car isn't overly heavy like some bigger EV, but the new Leaf is not perfect. Some rivals charge faster. Some offer more futuristic interiors, some offer more aggressive pricing, but when you look at the complete picture, design, real-world range, comfort, practicality, reliability, driving experience, resale value, the new Leaf becomes one of the most well-balanced EV in the UK market. It's the kind of car built not to impress your neighbors, but to make your daily life easier, and in many ways, that's exactly why it feels like it's back on top. It's not the flashiest EV, it's not the fastest, it's not the cheapest, but it might be the most sensible electric car you can buy right now. The Leaf's biggest achievement is that it feels mature, confident, well-developed. It doesn't try too hard. It doesn't chase gimmicks. It simply does what an EV should do, quietly, reliably, and efficiently. And that honesty makes it stand out in a market full of cars trying to be something they're not. After spending time with it, driving it, testing the range, checking the build quality, comparing it with rivals, one thing becomes clear. The new Nissan Leaf isn't here to win headlines. It's here to win drivers. And that's exactly what Nissan needed to get right. So, is the new Nissan Leaf back on top? For many buyers, especially in the UK, the answer is yes. It brings back everything people loved about the original while fixing nearly everything they complained about. It's smarter, better built, more efficient, more practical, better looking, and finally competitive where it matters most. Nissan didn't reinvent the Leaf, they perfected it. And in a world where EV are becoming complicated, expensive, and overloaded with features nobody asked for, the Leaf's simplicity feels refreshing. The more time you spend with it, the more you realize something important. The new Nissan Leaf isn't trying to impress you in the first 5 minutes. It's trying to impress you over the next 5 years. And that, in the end, is what truly makes a great EV.